Welcome back to the Parlay Politics. Today we're going to be breaking down UFC 315, Bilal Muhammad taking on Jack Della Maddalena. And in the co-main event, we got Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko taking on Manon the Beast Fiorot. But before we get to that, we got to address the obvious elephant in the room. Last week we came up short all because of Ivana Petrovic. We had a plus 1,000 parlay, 5 legs, and it missed just because of Ivana Petrovic, and it really fucked me up on the inside.
Oh my God.
So Ivana Petrovic, I really hope your corner is in your ear and your coaches, they are telling you the shit that you need to hear.
Get your head up. You lost the money. It's gone. You got your ass whooped tonight. But I done seen y'all whoop a many ass right in this same place.
But I'm going to switch up the pace on these videos. I'm going to give you my most confident person to get their job done. Because Ivana Petrovic, she didn't deliver like she was supposed to. But this person on Saturday night, UFC 315, I know she going to get the job done. So I'm going to go ahead and just roll that. Natalia Silva always bring the fight to her opponent. She's cold. I'm gonna break down her fight here in a little bit. But yeah, that's my most confident pick right there. I'll bet the house on her, everything. But anyway, so let's break down this fight card real quick. First fight of the night is in the men's bantamweight division. We got Brad Katona taking on Beksat Almakhan. Now, Brad Katona, the two-time Ultimate Fighter winner, coming off a loss in his last fight to Gene Matsumoto by unanimous decision. It was a good fight. It was close, but Gene just pretty much was better than Brad. But Brad's tough. He unwilts, and he's going to bring pressure and a pace. Like, his wrestling is okay. He's pretty well rounded, not great at everything, but just good at certain things. The fight before that beat Jesse Butler. That's all right of a win. It's nothing to get you all hyped up about. And the fight before that lost a unanimous decision to Garrett Armfield. Beat Cody Gibson by decision, and then beat a guy named Gazmat Magomedov on Brave FC. Now he's taking on Almakhan, or Beksat Almakhan. Beksat Almakhan, a guy bursting off the regional scene, 11-2 in his pro career. His first fight in the UFC was against Umar Nurmagomedov, where Umar Nurmagomedov pretty much controlled him the entire fight. After Beksat Almakhan dropped Umar in the first round, early in the first round, had him hurt real bad. He showed real good striking. The dude got power. His get-up game is pretty good for him when he's on bottom too. I mean, you can't hold that too much against him because he's getting laid and preyed upon by Umar Nurmagomedov. So Brad Katona is not a Umar Nurmagomedov level type of wrestler. So I'm going to be taking Beksat Almakhan here in this fight. I think he's going to have a power advantage, a speed advantage. He's going to have the height advantage, probably the reach advantage as well. Like I said, Brad Katona, he will bring the pressure, but Beksat Almakhan, I believe that if Brad Katona tries to pressure him against the cage and take him down, he'll be able to get up much easier than he did against Umar Nurmagomedov during his UFC debut. So the pick here is Beksat Almakhan. I believe he gets it done. Brad Katona is not no easy person to put away, so I can see this fight going the distance. So I'll make two bets on this. I'll make Bekset Almacan money line, and then another bet where I have this fight going over 2.5 rounds. The next fight on the card is in the men's featherweight division. We got Daniel Willie Cat Santos taking on Jung Young Lee, the Korean Tiger. Now Daniel Santos, he's been out of the UFC for like 2 years. Not sure what's going on with him. I mean, he has had several fights that he pulled out of. The last fight he pulled out of was against Davy Grant, where we had Davy Grant as the underdog pick of the night, and Daniel Santos literally just didn't even show up to the weigh-ins. It is what it is. His two fights that he do have are his two previous fights in the UFC. So he's 2-1 in the promotion. He beat Johnny Munoz Jr. by unanimous decision. Knocked out TKO John Castaneda. That's an all right win. And then he lost to Julio Arce in his UFC debut. Julio Arce, good dynamic striker. So that was like 3 years ago. And now he's taking on Jung Young, the Iron Tiger, Jung Young, or the Korean Tiger, Jung Young Lee. Jung Young Lee coming off that loss. Both of these fighters are 11-2 in their professional careers, by the way. Jung Young Lee coming off that loss to Hyder Emil about 9 months ago, where he was TKO'd standing up. He showed that he's got a good chin. I mean, he didn't get knocked out. Hyder Emil just blitzed him, and Hyder Emil, the run Hyder Emil's been on is pretty good because he just beat William Gomis, who's a like what top 10 fighter. So took William Gomis's rank, did Hyder Emil, but yeah, Jung Young Lee he's pretty tall, he's pretty rangy for the featherweight division, and he's taking on Daniel Santos, who is normally fighting at bantamweight. So Daniel Santos is actually moving up in weight for this fight. Jung Young Lee, like I said, coming off that loss to Hyder Emil, but every fight other than that, he's made a splash on the regional scene, especially in the road to the UFC. I mean, he's got submission wins, he's got knockout wins, and then the UFC made his debut against Yiza. He got that win by split decision. Yiza was 22 and probably 2 at the time, so that's a good win right there for him. Then he beat Blake Builder everywhere. Blake Builder was, a pretty decent prospect in the UFC on his come up, and Jung Young Lee just completely shut him down. This fight, I'm gonna go with Jung Young Lee just for the simple fact that Daniel Santos, he's been super unreliable. I don't know if he can't make weight or what the hell's going on with him, but I just don't think that he's locked in or he's dialed in. Now he's taking a fight against Jung Young Lee where he's moving up in weight and he's gonna have the size disadvantage, probably the strength disadvantage as well. Daniel Santos, he's good. Don't get me wrong, he can fight, but the pick is Jung Young Lee. The next fight on the card is in the men's middleweight division. We got Marc-Andre Barrio taking on Bruno Silva. Power bar versus Blindado. Yeah, both of these fighters on a crazy skid right now as far as the losing streak goes. Marc-Andre Barrios dropped his last 3 fights. Bruno Silva dropped his last 4 fights. Excuse me, I had to burp. Marc-Andre Barrio, he's okay, but he's been getting knocked out a lot. So his last 2 fights, he got TKO. Joe Pyfer knocked his dick in the dirt, made him fuck the mud. But we can't hold that too hard against him because Joe Pyfer hits fucking hard. Joe Pyfer's a big dude, upcoming prospect in the division. And then he gets knocked out by Dustin Stoltz, fool. Now that's a loss. So you kind of look at Marc-Andre Barrio like, oh, okay, bro, your chin's gone. I remember we took Marc-Andre Barrio during that fight too, and he got his clock cleaned, and I'm like, bro, what? I'm never betting on Marc-Andre Barrio again. That's all I could have said at the time. So he's 16-9 in his professional career fighting out of Canada. He's taking on Bruno Silva, who's 23-12, fighting out of Brazil. Bruno Silva, though, like, he's got losses to actual good people. Submission, Brendan Allen rear naked choked him. Shar Magomedov beat him by unanimous decision. Chris Weidman beat him by unanimous decision, but we already know Chris Weidman cheated his ass off in that fight. Literally poked Bruno Silva in the eye several times, damn near blinded the man. Like, that fight I was watching, like, just pretty much disgusted because I don't remember who I bet on at the time, But Chris Weidman is a dirty motherfucker. I promise you that right now. He is literally.
You are just terrible. You're the scum of the earth. You are a terrible human being, but you can sure turn it on, huh?
Thank you.
He's up there with Michael Chandler and his level of fucking pettiness and just dirtiness. This is a fight I'm gonna stay away from. Like I said, both of these fighters on a terrible losing skid, but at least Bruno Silva, his losses are the good fighters, and it's not like he's getting chinned back to back. So Bruno Silva is dog money. You know what I'm saying? He's plus 130, slight underdog on Tapology and all over the books. I think Bruno Silva gets it done, man. Marc-Andre Barrios showed that he cannot take a fucking punch anymore, and I just can't put my money behind somebody like Marc-Andre Barrios, and I can't put my money behind Bruno Silva either. But if I had to make a pick, the pick would be Bruno Silva. He's got better losses to higher caliber opponents, and he's going the distance with these opponents where Marc-Andre Barrios, his last two fights, you know what I'm saying, he just got his ass knocked out. So on to the next one. Next fight on the card is in the men's light heavyweight division. We got Navajo Sterling taking on Ivan Erslan. Now, Navajo Sterling, a rising prospect fighting out of New Zealand, city kickboxing, training with Israel Adesanya, Dan Hooker, Carlos Olberg. He's got a real good group of guys with him to actually, feed off of and make him better. He's fighting Ivan Erslan. Ivan Erslan 14-4 in his professional career. Navajo Sterling 6-0 in his professional career. Navajo Sterling does have knockout power. He displayed that on the regional scene and then on Dana White's Contender Series. And then he made his debut against Tuco Tokos, where he went to a unanimous decision with him. Everybody thought that Navajo Sterling was going to knock Tuco Tokos out, myself included. But, he styled on him the entire fight. He was taken down several times, but he showed a real good get up game, and he showed that he's got a good gas tank too. Now he's taking on Ivan Erslan. Ivan Erslan, his last fight, lost to Iwan Kutelaba by split decision. Then his fight before that in KSW knocked out Bogdan, whoever the hell his last name is. I mean, he's got some good knockouts on his record, or he actually got knocked out against a guy named Rafael. I don't even know how to pronounce these KSW guys' names, so I'm not even going to attempt to. But he's got some knockouts on his resume. He has been knocked out too, or he's been knocked out once. Now he's taking on, like I said, a good person or a good knockout artist in Navajo Sterling, who actually is dynamic. He's well-rounded, showed a lot of grit, a lot of toughness, a lot of diversity in his game. Ivan Erslan, he's more of a power puncher. He's going to try to come in there and knock your block off. And if he can't get your block knocked off, he will try to, wrestle you down to the ground and try to do what he can in that department. But Navajo Sterling, I can see Navajo Sterling being able to stuff the takedowns, maybe even cracking Ivan Erslan with a nasty elbow to get a TKO or a KO victory. Like I said, it's his second fight in the UFC, so he might want to make a statement here on pay-per-view in front of all the Canadian fans and really put himself on the map. So the pick is going to be Navajo Sterling. Well-rounded, got a good group of guys that he could train with and feed off of, and I see him as a real up-and-coming prospect who's just going to get better and better as his career progresses in the UFC. And we are back in the light heavyweight division where we have Modestas Bukauskas taking on Iwan Kutelaba. Now, Modestas Bukauskas, tall, rangy, powerful dude. He's got a nice muscular build to him, taking on Iwan Kutelaba. Iwan Kutelaba is no slouch either. He's got a decent, physique too, and he can throw bombs. And that's mainly what Iwan Kutelaba likes to do here. He likes to just throw bombs. And Modestas Bukauskas is more well-rounded, more polished in his mixed martial arts game. He's going to be the more fundamental fighter in this. And I believe Modestas Bukauskas can get the job done. And it's crazy because when I first seen this fight happen, or when I first heard this fight being announced, my gut told me Iwan Kutelaba for some reason. But I might have been sold on his last two wins, in the UFC. He beat Ivan Erslan by split decision. That wasn't, too good of a win for him because I picked him to win that fight, and he did, but it was closer than I liked it to be. And then he beat Ibo Aslan by arm triangle. Ibo Aslan burned me on that fight. Came into the UFC 14-0. I believe they got him off Dana White's Contender Series. He was supposed to come in there and be a hard hitter, and he did hit he did hit Ian Kudelaba with hard shots. Had him somewhat hurt in the first round, but Kudelov is a dog. I'm not gonna say he's got a granite chin because he does get knocked out when he finds himself in firefights, and that's the type of fighter he is. He's like, all right, let's go out here and bang. Whoever goes down first just goes down, and that's in my opinion, that's low IQ plays. And Modestas Bukauskas, he's more calculated than that. Even though he came off that nasty check hook knockout to Vitor Petrino about his year and 6 months ago. He's bounced back from that, beat Marcin Prokhnov by arm triangle, and then he just beat Rafael Sequeira in his last fight, which was about 2 months ago. Knocked Rafael Sequeira out, and that's another thing. I had Rafael Sequeira supposedly winning that fight. Rafael Sequeira came into the UFC 11-0, and then you get knocked out by Modestas Bukauskas, and that kind of fucked me up. I'm like, bro, what is going on? So that may be the theme here, just to not bet on debuting fighters who are making their initial UFC debut, because the most weirdest and random shit happens. Now, like I said, Ion Cutelaba, he likes to get into a firefight, but he has shown more IQ in his last two fights. He has shown that he can take it down to the ground and win in a grappling/striking approach. I just think that the takedown threat is not going to be there for Modestas Bukauskas, because Modestas Bukauskas, he has some good takedown defense, and he can play his game the way it's supposed to be played. So with him being more fundamentally sound on the feet, more well-rounded, and not the type of person to where he's gonna like, okay, let's get into a brawl. Like, if he has you hurt, yeah, he's gonna hunt for the finish, but he's not just gonna go out there and bang it out with you. He's gonna pick his shots perfectly, and then once he sees his kill shot, he's gonna take that kill shot, or that big moment where he can capitalize on your weakness. He's gonna capitalize on your weakness. So the pick here is gonna be Modestas Bukauskas. Me personally, I'm still on the fence about this being on any of my betting slips, because it's just a toss up at this point. Both of these fighters, on a 2-fight win streak, so somebody's got to take a quick L. But if I had to pick who loses, I would say that Ion Cutelaba, with his lack of fight IQ, when it comes to being cracked and hit hard, I believe that Modestas Bukauskas will get him out of there before he can adjust to a new game plan and try to like wrestle Modestas Bukauskas down to the ground if he gets wobbled. On to the next fight. The next fight on the card is in the women's flyweight division. We got Jessica Andrade taking on Jasmine Jasudavicius. Jessica Andrade, a UFC veteran at this point, got damn near 40 fights almost. She was a title holder at one point, when she beat Rose Namajunas. Rose Namajunas dumped her on her head, took her title, and then instantly lost it. It's not like she held it for long. Rose Namajunas was supposed to win that fight regardless, if you ask me. I was disappointed when that actually happened. But anyway, Jessica Andrade, 26-13 in her professional career, taking on Jasmine Jasudavicius, a nice up-and-coming prospect, 13-3 in her professional career, and is on a 4-fight win streak. Jessica Andrade coming off that loss to Natalia Silva. That's my girl right there. I love me some Natalia Silva. I tell you that right now. I can't wait. She gonna do work. But anyway, we're gonna get to her when we get to her. Natalia Silva just pieced Jessica Andrade up the entire duration of the fight. Showed real good, versatility, good grappling defense, good wrestling defense, and Jessica Andrade was just too outsized for the division. The reach wasn't on her side, the size wasn't on her side, and it was in the apex cage too. So Jessica Andrade, she's a hard, powerful puncher, and when you're in a smaller apex cage, that really favors more powerful punchers and shorter fighters and people who like to close the distance quicker. But anyway, after that, or before that, she beat Marina Rodriguez by split decision, and then she beat Mackenzie Dern, knocked Mackenzie Dern out. It was crazy win too. Mackenzie Dern, that's another women's fighter that I love, and she gets a lot of slack. But I fuck with Mackenzie Dern. She's got a good good career ahead of her. She just keep on doing what she's doing. But the fight before that, she gets choked out by Tatiana Suarez almost 2 years ago, and then she gets knocked out by Yan Xiaonan. Now you're taking on a pressure heavy grappler slash wrestler and Jasmine Jazz Devicious fighting out of Canada in her home crowd. Jasmine Jazz Devicious been looking good her last few fights. I'm not, or her last several fights. Beat Myra Brano Silva. Myra Brano Silva. She's a good grappler too, and I thought Myra Brano Silva was actually going to be able to, I'm not going to say stuff the takedowns of Jasmine Jazz Devicious, but if it did go down to the ground, I was kind of expecting Myra Brano Silva to, have a good submission threat in her arsenal, and Jasmine Jazz Devicious just shut all that down with her pressure wrestling. Her striking's okay; it's getting better and better as her career progresses. Fight before that, she beats Ariana Lipsky by Darce choke, just out grappled her, muscled her to the ground. Then the fight before that, beat Fatima Klein by unanimous decision, and that's crazy because we took Fatima Klein in that fight too, and Fatima Klein just did not come through. It was a sad day. And then the fight before that, beat Priscilla Cachera by Darce choke, and Priscilla Cachera just fraud. I ain't gonna say fraud check. That's crazy. That was even gonna come out of my mouth. But she just beat who's it? Josiane Nunes. Knocked Josiane Nunes the fuck out viciously. But anyway, Jasmine Jazz the Vicious, she's the pick. I like her pressure grappling, and that's where Jessica Andrade shows a tremendous amount of holes in her game. She always loses to pressure grapplers and people who can get her down. Unfortunately, Mackenzie Dern couldn't make that happen. Mackenzie Dern is a real good grappler, but I just don't think Mackenzie Dern sets up her takedowns as well as Jasmine Jazz the Vicious does. And so yeah, the pick is Jasmine Jazz the Vicious. I believe the size advantage for her is going to be too much for Jessica Andrade. She's going to be bringing the pace to her. And if she could just stay away from getting knocked out, which I know she can, because, when Jasmine Jazz Vicious fought Natalia Silva, she took some hard shots and she stayed. I mean, she got wobbled a few times, but that's Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva's tall and rangy, a lot of dexterity in her legs, mixes it up real well. And Jessica Andrade, she's more of a come forward, throw big punches, and try to make something happen there. And I think Jasmine Jazz Vicious, she sees that coming and she times her takedowns perfectly and she wins. I could see her actually finishing Jessica Andrade, maybe TKO, ground and pound, or submission. Yeah, the pick is Jasmine Jazz Vicious. She'll get it done Saturday. The next fight on the card is in the men's welterweight division. We got proper Mike Malott taking on Chuck Buffalo, Charles Radke. Mike Malott, 11-2 in his professional career. Charles Radke, 10-4 in his professional career. Both of these fighters on a I can't say win streak. Both of these fighters coming off W's their last fights and having an L the fight before that, and then a 3-fight win streak for them before they took the L. Mike Malott, he's a good rangy, dynamic striker. He's a good counter puncher. He uses his height and reach advantage, to his avail, as you would say. But that fight where he fought Neil Magny and Neil Magny TKO'd him, ground and pounded him out. That's the fight that everybody looks at Mike Malott like, bro, what? And it's crazy because I bet on Mike Malott to actually win that fight. And he essentially he was, he was, but he didn't. He looked good until he didn't, and it came in like the third round. He was fucking, I wouldn't say fucking Magny up, but he was definitely outclassing Magny. And then in the third round, Magny ends up reversing the position and just grounds and pounds him out. And Mike Malott showed that he'll fucking quit. That's all I could really say about that. And then he's, like I said, taking on Charles Radke. Charles Radke coming off that nice KO over Matthew Semmelsberger in his last fight. Looked real good. And then the fight before that, lost to Carlos Prates. We can't hold that against Chuck Buffalo Radke because Carlos Prates he's a fucking killer. He's a beast, And that knee up the middle really buckled Chuck Buffalo. Charles Radke, he instantly, you know, I'm he didn't fight through it. So both of these fighters kind of show that they can they can just kind of give up. You know, it's kind of like the Rainer DeRitter versus Bo Nichols situation last week. Rainer DeRitter hits him with a knee. Bo Nickel just turns around, folds in the cage. That's exactly what happened to Charles Radke when he fought Carlos Prates. But the fight before that, on a 3-fight win streak, beat Gilbert Urbina by TKO, beat Matthew Mathetha by unanimous decision. They call him Blood Diamond. And then, got fights in CFFC before making his appearance in the UFC. Um, yeah, proper Mike Malott coming off a win over Adam Fugit right before he lost to Neil Magny, beat Johan Lanis before that by a arm triangle, and then TKO Mickey Gall. The best bet for this fight, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it in hindsight, I don't think this fight goes the distance. Not a fight that I'm a bet on anyway, because I seen both of these fighters. They both quit. Fuck, they both showed that when they get hit with some hard shit, they just gonna kind of just fold up. So if I had to pick a winner, man, I would probably. I'm kind of leaning towards the proper Mike Malott side, but at the same time, Charles Radke, he's got good hooks, man. He could catch Mike Malott and clean his clock. I mean, Charles Radke does have knockouts on his resume. I mean, he can do that to you. I mean, yeah. I mean, I could see Mike Malott maybe winning a split decision, but I can also see Charles Radke winning by a knockout. Like I said, my pick would be this for this fight to not go to distance if I do make a bet on it. But yeah, that's probably nothing that's gonna. I'm just gonna enjoy this fight. But the pick, yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy it. The next fight on the card is in the men's lightweight division. We got the God of War Benoit Saint Denis taking on Killshot Kyle Prepolek. Benoit Saint Denis coming off two back-to-back losses where he was finished by Dustin Poirier and Renato Moicano. And it's crazy because in that Dustin Poirier fight, he came in as a favorite. And I'm like, bro, Dustin Poirier is still the diamond. So I rolled out with Dustin Poirier on that fight, and I made a good amount of money off Dustin Poirier when Dustin Poirier knocked him out. It was scary at first. Don't get me wrong, because Benoit Saint Denis, this motherfucker came in that bitch like Tom Clancy, Splinter Cell. But luckily he's not fighting a Dustin Poirier, and his original opponent was supposed to be Joel Alvarez. And I know fucking when they told Benoit Saint Denis like Joel Alvarez pulled out of the fight. He can't. I don't know if he can't make weight, but you got a new opponent. Benoit Saint Denis had to be happy as fuck when they gave him that news because Joel Alvarez was finna put the beast to that man. So I just know when they told him that he was gonna be fighting Joel Alvarez at first, Benoit Saint Denis probably was like, bullshit, bullshit. But he gets the good news. He's taking on Kyle Prepolek. And, I know he rejoiced in that moment. I bet you he was like, thank you. Thank God that I don't got to fight Joel Alvarez, because Joel Alvarez, like I said, was finna put the beats on him. So I know he had to have a nice little moment of celebration.
Thank God.
So yeah, Kyle Prepolek, Benoit Saint Denis, 13-3 in his professional career. 3-fight winning streak before, he was viciously knocked out by Dustin Poirier, and before he was fucking Renato Moicano beat the brakes off this man. I think damn near had both his eyes closed shut. The doctor had to step in because he was at a risk of going blind if he took any more damage. Kyle Prepolek, 18-8 in his professional career. He fought in the UFC before. I believe he went 0-2 in the UFC. He's coming off a TKO win over a guy who is 25-29. Yes, you heard that right. Kyle Prepolek's last win was against a guy who was 25-29. I mean, he knocked him out. Yeah, that's good. So he's on a 3-fight winning streak, and they're all by knockouts. Benoit Saint Denis, he's like a heavy favorite. I think he's the heaviest favorite on the card. Kyle Prepolek can do some shit to where he can upset Benoit Saint Denis. I mean, Kyle Prepolek has pretty decent stand up. Like, that's not somebody I would sleep on. And Benoit Saint Denis showed that as the fight goes on, he wears damage heavy and he starts to wilt. He should get it done though. We're gonna go ahead and say that Benoit Saint Denis does what he's supposed to do. Like I said, he came out against Dustin Poirier on some Splinter Cell shit, straight grappling, Tom Clancy folding him up, and I'm like, oh shit, Dustin Poirier he finna make me lose all my money tonight. And Dustin Poirier ended up coming through for me, but Benoit Saint Denis showed that he's got good grappling. He can go to that, and his striking's not bad. He's got power too. So the pick is gonna be Benoit Saint Denis, but this is another fight that I will not place any bets on because for one, Benoit Saint Denis is too high of a favorite. And Kyle Prepolek, he's just coming back into the UFC. You know, he's been fucking fighting people somewhere on a fairground stage somewhere, and he's been knocking them all out. So we don't know how good he is coming back into the UFC, especially taking on somebody like Benoit Saint Denis. But there's some value on Prepolek. You could take Prepolek to win, and you could probably get a decent amount of plus money, sprinkle a little something on it. But for me, I'm not going to bet Benoit Saint Denis to win. I might bet Kyle Prepolek on a slip by itself so he does not burn me. But my pick is going to be Benoit Saint Denis to get this fight done. On to the next one. The next fight is in the women's flyweight division. We got Alexa Grasso taking on Natalia Silva. All right, Alexa Grasso, 16-4 in her professional career. Her last three fights, you got to take this into consideration. Her last three fights were all 5-round fights where she fought Valentina Shevchenko. First time she fought Valentina Shevchenko, ends up pulling off a rear naked choke submission, completely upsetting the champion. I didn't see that coming. I was kind of shocked when I heard. I didn't even watch that fight. I don't think I watched that pay-per-view. But when I was scrolling on my feed and I saw that Alexa Grasso had choked out Valentina Shevchenko, I was shocked. I'm not gonna lie. Fight after that, she's got to run it back with the champion because Valentina Shevchenko has been dominant. So they're gonna give her immediate rematch. They run it back. The fight goes to a split decision. So Alexa Grasso keeps her title. Fight after that, they like, look, y'all got to run that shit back again because we need to figure out what the fuck is going on in this women's division right now. Fights Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina Shevchenko just completely shuts her down the entire time. Shows that she really learned, I would say, more so from the second fight opposed to the first fight. The first fight, she just kind of got caught in a submission, and it wasn't even under the chin. Alexa Grasso had her forearm across the chin, and it was just a powerful ass squeeze. And Valentina Shevchenko had to fucking tap out, or she was gonna be like fucking Robert Whitaker when Khamzat Chimaev fucking broke his jaw with a rear naked. Yeah, Khamzat Chimaev knocked out Robert Whitaker's teeth by wrapping his forearm around his arm and squeezing on the chin, completely shattered his gums, knocked out teeth, just some crazy shit. I mean, pushed his whole bottom row back. And that's what essentially Valentina Shevchenko was looking at if she didn't tap out. The second fight, it was a very close fight. They both had their key moments. Good striking on the feet. Alexa Grasso knocks Valentina Shevchenko down, I believe, in the second or third round. Valentina Shevchenko pops back up, shows good grit, and they both go through crazy grappling exchanges where they are both back and forth. One's on top, and then the other reverses, and then the other's on top, and then another one reverses, and the other's on top. It was one of those fights. And then in the third fight, Valentina Shevchenko, she polished her wrestling, her grappling real well, and just controlled Alexa Grasso the entire time, styled on her, completely dominated her. Now she's taking on Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva, y'all know, I've been high on Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva she's so fucking good. She's cold, man. This young lady is a fucking problem, and I do believe that when she beats Alexa Grasso on Saturday, she is in the title picture. I mean, how can she not be? On a 6-fight win streak, made her UFC debut again, or made her UFC debut TKO'd Teresa Bleda. Then she knocks out Victoria Leonardo with a head kick. Well, it was more of a standing knockout. She fucked her up regardless. Beats Jessica Andrade by unanimous decision, just styled on her the entire time. Beats Viviana Rujao, did the exact same thing, styled on her, outstruck her, showed a good counter to anything that Viviana Arujau threw at her, and then she beats Jessica Andrade. Wait, did she fight Jessica Andrade twice? No fucking shot. No, she didn't. Okay, yeah, her last fight, she fought Jessica Andrade and just completely dominated Jessica Andrade in every aspect of the fucking fight. Really used her range. She's got a nice Taekwondo style. She'll push kick to the side. She'll throw a low leg kick, a body kick, and then she'll go high to the head like in a rapid fashion. Like I said, she's got a nice taekwondo style, a good amount of dexterity in her legs, and she's got a good counter strike and got a really good jab, and she's always circling around the cage. Like, she's never stationary. She's always on her feet, moving and not even really pushing the pace, but just a all around good counter striker, kind of like what Ian Gary looked like against Carlos Prates. That's kind of what I would equate Natalia Silva's style to right now. Natalia Silva, 18-5 in her professional career. Like I said, she's good. When she fought Jasmine Jazz Devicious, the girl we talked about earlier on this video, Jasmine Jazz Devicious had no answer for anything that Natalia Silva had. Anytime Natalia or Jasmine Jazz Devicious tried to take her down, Natalia Silva showed good takedown defense. She's got like a 91% takedown defense. Was not taken down at all a single time by Jasmine Jazz Devicious. And in fact, she actually took Jasmine Jazz Devicious down several times. So yeah, my money's on Natalia Silva. She's got way more wins, or way more ways to win than Alexa Grasso, and she's just too versatile, and she's gonna be much stronger than Alexa Grasso. She's fucking tall and rangy for the division. She's got thick legs. She throws them bitches quick and heavy and hard. And if Alexa Grasso tries to grapple her, I can see Natalia Silva hitting a nice trip takedown, a nice sweep takedown, and instantly just showing complete and utter dominance in this fight. So Natalia Silva is my confident pick. Like I said, I'll bet the house on her. I'll put the mortgage on her. And I know she's going to go ahead and, upgrade me, put me in something bigger and better. On to the next fight. The next fight on the card is in the men's featherweight division, or the men's bantamweight division, because I be forgetting Jose Aldo moved up in weight. It is in the bantamweight division. I'm tripping. Yeah, we got Jose Jr. Aldo, aka Scarface, taking on Ayman Zahabi. Let's break this one down real quick. Jose Aldo has fought the better of the competition. He has more tools to win on the feet. Ayman Zahabi, he's pretty good defensively. He knows how to roll with his punches. He's got some decent stand up. He's 12-2 in his professional career. Jose Aldo 32-9. But Jose Aldo is just losing to the top of the food chain. Literally the best guys on the fucking planet in the weight class, and nothing lower than that. Mario Bautista literally held in his last fight. Jose Aldo, he literally got held up against the cage by Mario Bautista the entire time, because Mario Bautista was scared that Jose Aldo was going to fuck him up like Jose Aldo did to Jonathan Martinez in the fight before that. Jonathan Martinez, a good fucking prospect, heavy leg kicks. Jonathan Martinez then KO'd a few people just by leg kicks adding up in the entire duration of the fight. So I was worried for Jose Aldo there, but at the same time, Jose Aldo is known to be a vicious leg kicker. I mean, if you were around for Jose Aldo's WEC reign, where he was literally just viciously kicking people off of their feet the entire time, I mean, he fucked up Uriah Faber so bad. Uriah Faber was on crutches for like 3 months after fighting Jose Aldo. I mean, Uriah Faber's, both of his legs were just like purple, blue, and black. When I saw that, I knew Jose Aldo was a fucking problem, and I was like, all right, when this dude gets into the UFC, he's gonna have a belt. And sure enough, he gets into the UFC. I mean, I believe he already had the belt. Did he have the belt coming in? I can't remember if he did, but if he didn't, he won that bitch, and he held on to it for a long fucking time. Jose Aldo's reign in mixed martial arts is literally gonna go down as one of the best reigns of all time, and I'm not sure. I think he's already in the Hall of Fame too. Jose Aldo is just a fucking dog, man. He's one of the only fighters from the WEC days that are still fighting in the UFC, and he's still like the top of the division, like one of the who's. Like when the UFC wants to see how good a guy's gonna be, who's a good prospect, they give him to Jose Aldo. You feel me? And Jose Aldo usually, you know what I'm saying, checks him. I can't even call it a fraud check because fighting Jose Aldo, if you're a prospect, that's fucking hell for anybody. But like I said, he's taking on Amin Zahabi. Amin Zahabi, 12-2. Coming off, he's on a what I think like a 5-fight win streak. His last fight beat Pedro Munoz by unanimous decision. Pedro Munoz was on his way out the door. We're not gonna be like giving him fucking kudos for that. You're supposed to do that to Pedro Munoz. The fight before that beat Javid Basharat. That was a pretty good win because, Javid Basharat, was a good prospect coming into the UFC. He had a lot of high hopes and a lot of high praises. And Amin Zahabi just unanimous decisioned him and fucked him up. Fight before that beat Ariki Lang, TKO's Ariki Lang, left hook and then strikes to the fucking grounded opponent. I mean, it's a okay of a win. Ariki Lang is like not a bum, but at the same time, he's not something that you would just sit there and praise. The fight before that beat Ricky Tercio. Okay, Ricky Tercio is a good scrappy dude, like pressure heavy. He'll bring the fight to you at all times. And then the fight before that beat Draco Rodriguez by a knockout overhand right. Now, all these opponents that I just listed off, what do they all have in common? I can tell you right now, the thing that they all have in common is they're not Jose Aldo. And Jose Aldo will completely destroy each and every one of these opponents as well. So, I mean, I'm not a type of person to fade Jose Aldo. You feel me? I've never been the type of person to fade Jose Aldo. I mean, when Jose Aldo fought Merab Dvalishvili shot in on Jose Aldo like fucking 30, damn near 30 times and could not take Jose Aldo down one time. And Merab Dvalishvili, the dude's got good pressure. He's actually a machine and he has very good grappling. He took down Umar Nurmagomedov several times in their fight. So if you're not taking down Jose Aldo, Amin Zahabi ain't taking down Jose Aldo. So what's Amin Zahabi's game plan? Because I don't see him outstriking Jose Aldo either. I don't see him outvoluming Jose Aldo either. So the pick is going to be Jose Aldo. Amin Zahabi, he might try to pressure Jose Aldo up against the fence like a little bitch. Try to hold him like a fuck boy, hold him against the cage and just rack up and throw knees to Jose Aldo's leg. But hopefully Jose Aldo has a good answer for all that bullshit that potentially may come his way. That's not really Amin Zahabi's game anyway, though. But he's got to have a change of game plans if he's fighting Jose Aldo because Jose Aldo is much better than him on the feet. And that's just period. You feel me? Jose Aldo is... And I wish Jose Aldo would introduce his kicking game back into the UFC because it's been a long fucking time since we've seen Jose Aldo blast leg kicks. And for the longest time, I've been asking myself, like, what the fuck is wrong with Jose Aldo? How come he don't throw the vicious leg kicks like he used to? Like, he literally used to spin people around, knock them off their feet, make them retire from even trying to fight in that fight because Jose Aldo just has so much power in his fucking shins. But yeah, the pick is going to be Jose Aldo. I said I was going to make that one quick, and that one was drawn out. That is what it is. Never fade the King of Rio. Next fight on the card is the co-main event for the Women's Flyweight Championship title. We got Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko taking on Manon the Beast Fiorot. Firo, however you pronounce her name. She's French, has a heavy French accent. I don't even think she speaks any English, but yeah. I'm just going to put it this way. This fight literally reminds me of Zhang Weili versus Tatiana Suarez because Valentina Shevchenko is the underdog and she's the champion with arguably more wins on her resume against top level competition. And only losses are to the top level competition, like twice to Amanda Nunes, once to Alexa Grasso. Valentina 24-4 in her professional career, taking on Manon Fiorot 12-1 in her professional career. Manon Farrow on a obvious fucking win streak. She's beat Myra Bueno Silva, Jennifer Maya, Caitlin Chiminara, Rose Namajunas, and Erin Blanchfield. So the only good wins that she has on her resume, I can't even say Myra Bueno Silva is a good win anymore because Myra Bueno Silva, the way Jasmine Jasdavicius made her look fucking, not good. Let's just put it that way. Rose Namajunas, okay, that's a decent win. Not to mention Rose Namajunas broke her pinky in the very first round, and Rose Namajunas still had a lot of success in that fight. Even though she lost a unanimous decision, clearly, Rose Namajunas had good moments in that fight against Manon Farrow. And then she beats Erin Blanchfield after that. Just dominates Erin Blanchfield. Erin Blanchfield, usually a pressure heavy wrestler slash grappler, couldn't take Manon Farrow down whatsoever. But that's the thing about Erin Blanchfield. She's only good at the pressure wrestling and grappling aspect of martial arts. She hasn't developed that crisp, clean striking to mix it in to where she can set up the takedowns better. So of course a good strong because Manon Farrow, she's stacked. She's swole as shit. Damn near swoller than me. You feel me? So of course she's gonna be able to stuff the takedowns, and she's got high level karate, like real high level karate. Good striking, good blitzes when she comes in, decent. I'm not even gonna say good head movement because a lot of the time when she throws punches, her head's just on the center line and she's blitzing forward because she is strong. I mean, with Valentina Shevchenko, I'm sorry. Valentina Shevchenko showed in her last fight against Alexa Grasso, she is a complete martial artist. She's adapted a new a new badge of honor on her mixed martial arts resume, and that is the grappling department. Valentina Shevchenko has always been able to somewhat grapple, but she's coming in with that Muay Thai kickboxing, and she's got hella fights in Muay Thai. You feel me? Valentina Shevchenko, Manon Farrow is going to be a good stand up fight while it lasts, standing on the feet, because I do see Valentina Shevchenko being able to make something happen to where she can take Manon Farrow down. And people be like, oh man, Manon Farrow, she's big, man. I don't know about all that. She's strong. Yeah, so is Liz Carmouche. Liz Carmouche was a fucking unit when she fought Valentina Shevchenko for the title. And Valentina Shevchenko shut all the fucking hype down because I was even worried about Valentina fighting Liz Carmouche. I knew Liz Carmouche. I'm like, okay, if Liz Carmouche can get her down to controller, it might be a long night for Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina Shevchenko showed that there's just levels to this shit. And that's exactly what I believe this fight is what they call a levels fight. Manon Farrow, I believe, is too young in her. I mean, she's not young though. How old is she? She's like 35? 30, she's 35, Valentina's 37. But I think that her MMA years, Manon Farrow is just too young to be fighting a Valentina Shevchenko right away. Like I said, the most two notable wins is Erin Blanchfield or Rose Namajunas. And you beat Rose Namajunas because Rose Namajunas broke her pinky, and on top of that, Rose Namajunas moved up in weight. And you had a clear size advantage. Valentina Shevchenko is going to be strong as well. That's the thing. Valentina is a strong ass bullet. Let's put it that way. Valentina can throw down. Like I said, I like the underdog value in Valentina Shevchenko, so that's my pick. Manon Farrow, she's good. I'm not taking anything away from her, but I think Valentina Shevchenko being the underdog and the champion, as dominant as she is, I just don't understand why. But yeah, I'm gonna take the plus money on Valentina Shevchenko. She definitely gonna make a parlay. On to the next one. And we find ourselves at the main event for the welterweight title. We got Bilal Bully B. Muhammad, remember the name, taking on Jack Della Maddalena. Now, Bilal Muhammad, cold, good grappler, good pressure. Striking is getting a lot better. Not the most crisp striker, but the pressure that Bilal Muhammad brings from bell to bell is just unmatched. Like the TKO win he got over Sean Brady. Disgusting. Sean Brady is a real good grappler, and I honestly thought Sean Brady was gonna win that fight. The fight before that beat Gilbert Burns, made it look pretty easy, dominated him, and then the fight after that took the strap off Leon Edwards. And that's the crazy thing, because Bilal Muhammad was the underdog going into that fight. And everybody was swearing up and down that Bilal Muhammad was going to lose to Leon Edwards. And I'm like, bro, are y'all serious right now? I'm like, yeah, Leon Edwards, he's a good striker, but he has no answer for the wrestling and pressure that Bilal Muhammad is going to bring to him. And that's exactly what Bilal Muhammad brought to him, straight pressure. I mean, I gotta give Leon Edwards some credit though. No, not the third, the fourth and the fifth round, he came alive, looked real good. He even reversed Bilal Muhammad several times while in grappling exchanges on the mat. And that kind of worries me because Bilal Muhammad is taking on Jack Della Maddalena. Jack Della Maddalena 17-2 in his professional career. Bilal Muhammad 24-3. Jack Della Maddalena riding a 17 fight win streak. Only two losses that he got was his pro debut and the fight after his pro debut. Since then, on a fucking tear. Jack Della Maddalena he's really fucking good. And if Bilal Muhammad takes him down, Jack Della Maddalena has shown that he's not just going to accept that position. He gets up every fucking time. Like, this is a fight where, you know, me personally, I do believe Bilal Muhammad will win, but not. Jack Della Maddalena has some of the best boxing in the welterweight division. I mean, his boxing is like Ilia Topuria level. Jack Della Maddalena throws combinations. He just doesn't throw a 1-2. A lot of fighters, that's all they really do nowadays, 1-2 leg kick. They don't really hone in on their boxing. Jack Della Maddalena throws 2, then a 3, and then a 4. Like, his boxing is fucking good, and he's been knocking people the fuck out, man. He's been knocking people the fuck out. Like, the last fight against Gilbert Burns, this is where it worries me with Jack Della Maddalena, because Gilbert Burns did take him down like 6 or 7 times in that fight. Gilbert Burns was winning the fight up 2 rounds, and Jack Della Maddalena pulls a Hail Mary out of his ass and just hits Gilbert Burns with a knee as Gilbert Burns is trying to shoot in for another takedown, completely stunned him. Gilbert Burns' legs start to give out, falls down, and Jack Della Maddalena just grounding and pounding him out. Fight before that, split decision loss to Kevin Holland. Clearly, it was a good fight, but I wouldn't say it was a split decision. I would say Jack Della Maddalena definitely won that fight because he threw more volume and his shots just looked a lot cleaner. Fight before that, fought Basil Hafez, and Basil Hafez came into that fight looking real fucking good. Took Jack Della Maddalena down several times, and I think that was Basil Hafez's UFC debut. He looked real good in his UFC debut against Jack Della Maddalena. But that's the thing about Jack Della Maddalena. You'll take him down, but he won't accept that position. He'll pop up. I believe that with the pressure that Bilal Muhammad is going to bring to Jack Della Maddalena, yeah, he's going to be able to get up. But now you're in a 5-round title fight, and you're going to have to get up every fucking time. It's not a 3-rounder. I can see Jack Della Maddalena having good success getting with his get-up game rounds 1, 2, and the beginning of round 3. That's when he'll probably start the wheel. Because if Jack Della Maddalena is going to win this fight, he's got to win by knockout, because he's not going to win a decision against Bilal Muhammad. Bilal Muhammad is just too pressure heavy, and his cardio is insane. Like, Bilal Muhammad's like the welterweight version of Merab Dvalishvili with his pressure and nonstop wrestling. And that's the thing, he's been mixing in his boxing too, and his boxing's been looking a lot better. He's coming in saying that he's going to just stand up with Jack Della Maddalena. That's a recipe for disaster. Jack Della Maddalena will put you the fuck out, bully. I'm just letting you know that right now. So if you want to keep your title, you want to keep your belt, you're going to have to resort to your wrestling. You're going to have to resort to that pressure that won you that belt. So my pick is honestly Bilal Muhammad. I believe Bilal Muhammad will bring that pressure. I do believe he'll mix in his striking and set up the takedowns perfectly. Jack Della Maddalena shows that that's a weakness in his game. He's been taken down before. I think I think Bully B will get it done again. And still, Bilal Muhammad to keep his title. Now, my most confident picks are right here. Give me Jung Young Lee. He's more professional. He's gonna be the bigger fighter. He shows up more active. Give me Navajo Sterling. He gets it done. Good prospect. Someone to keep your eyes on. Give me Jasmine Jazz Devicious. The pressure wrestling is just gonna be too much for Andrade. Give me Natalia Silva, of course, because that's my girl. And give me Valentina Shevchenko. She got that experience edge. Now we get to the underdog of the night. Person that got good value in my opinion. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
Champion of the world, Valentina Bullet Shevchenko.
Come and spend your money with me in the dog pound.
Young niggas in the game for a check.
Do 150 across the city when it goes down.
Young niggas better aim for the deck.
It was about 3:15, what they say about me.
Somebody gon' pay for the deck.
And every time I show up on these niggas when I come round.
Young nigga got a thing for respect.
Come and spend your money with me in the dog pound.
Young niggas in the game for a check.
Do 150 across the city when it goes down.
Young niggas better aim for the deck.
It was about 3:15, what they say about me.
Somebody gon' pay for the deck.
And every time I show up on these niggas when I come round.
Young nigga got a thing for respect.
Gary Gloves, you can't guard me. I can get robbed, no job, you can't star me. They can put Steelers on my back, they can't bar me. Let them gorillas rat-a-tat, you can't scar me. No, I'm the one to do what niggas don't. I'm the one that ain't afraid to do what niggas won't. I'll just make another way if you ain't trying to cope. I'll just call my other man if you ain't trying to go. Nigga, midnight attire all black. Top out 22s, nigga lean back. I can make another way and you can keep that. I'm the one they call dudes kicking feedback. Young niggas doing stretches like a limousine. All white, blue and gold like I'm Mr. Clean. Every day I got it sold like it's Halloween. All I need is something bold in a magazine. Young niggas come and spend your money with me in the dog pound.
Young niggas in the game for a check.
Do 150 across the city when it goes down.
Young niggas better aim for the.
Valentina Shevchenko is the underdog lock of the night. Like I said, man, she's got an experience edge. She's lost to the better competition. She's beat the better of the competition. Literally been fighting at the top of the food chain her entire title run in the last fucking, 5-6 years of her MMA career. I believe she gets it done. Manon Farrow, she's good, but Valentina Shevchenko, she got that dog in her, and she gonna fight for your money. Without further ado, UFC 315, let's go.